Hey, good morning guys. Today's video I want to be talking about 50-kilometer running tips, and the reason why I wanted to talk on this topic is because one of my subscribers had mentioned to me, hey, what are your thoughts in regards to 50-kilometer training? I do have a history of training this far out for marathon training. The furthest I've actually ever ran for in preparation for a marathon was 30 miles. And I remember I was stationed at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, and I was training for the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon, and I remember going out to called Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky, and it was very hilly, a lot of hills, and leading up to the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon, I was able to do a 30-mile run at 6:06 mile pace over hills, and I wasn't going all out, but it was a very aggressive effort considering the hills, and but yeah, I was able to train for this distance. And I think if anything I wanted to share with you is just in terms of if you're going to go this far out in your preparation for either training for an ultra marathoner event, or you're training for the marathon, I do think that running further than the marathon distance every once in a while is okay. I don't necessarily think that you have to, it's not like mandatory that you must run over 26 miles in order to get the marathon event to feel less difficult, your marathon race pace to feel less aggressive. But I think every once in a while you do need to stress the systems of your body, the energy systems of your body, and you do have to, experiment a little bit. I did a couple 27-mile long runs, a 28-miler, and I did a 30-mile long run, like I said, which is 50 kilometers. So, but I think that if you are going to do this, you need to make sure you have fluids placed out on the road, preferably every 3 to 4 miles. That way, when you go out, hopefully it's an out and a back course. That way, you have your fluids going out, and you have your fluids coming back. Practice sections of that long run at paces that are closer to around 85% of your maximum heart rate. I wouldn't do long runs of this length at 85% heart rate every single week. You definitely do not want to run that hard for that long, because you will need at a minimum 3 days recovery of absolute jogging after runs of this length. Like I said, I think it's really important, especially if, and it all depends on what your goals are too, because if you're trying to run a sub 2:30 marathon, okay, you're going to need to do a lot more anaerobic type work, and you're going to have to train a little bit more aggressively than somebody that's trying to run a lot slower, or maybe trying to run their first marathon and they want to experience, okay, well, I want to try to run a little bit further, maybe 50 kilometers. I want to do some 50 kilometer training, 50 kilometer running, in preparation for my next marathon. So I want to go out to around 30 miles. So if you're going to do that, definitely pay attention to making sure you're taking in enough fluids during that long run, as well as practicing taking in some calories during the long run too. Get some gels, put some gels out maybe every 8 miles, or about every 6 to 8 miles of that long run. That way, if it's an out and back course, you can get those calories while you're going out, and you can get the calories while you're going back. It's one of the common issues that a lot of athletes are having, and you can tell really quick if they haven't been taking in enough fluid during their long run or during the races. When they finish, it's just salt, total salt all over your face. And I've done this too before, because I've also neglected, and I've also made the same mistakes as just about any other athlete out there, until I got to a point where I ran 2:19 for the marathon. But I did do runs like this where I would go out to 30 miles in length. I remember getting into the type of fitness that I've only had a couple times in my life, where I was able to do a 20-miler in 1:50:02, which comes out to 5:30 mile pace at 160 beats per minute, right around 160, 165. So I was running around, when I was at the very fittest I've ever been in my life, which was 6 weeks out from the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon. I did that 1:50:02 10-miler. Prior to breaking 2:20, to give you an idea, I did a couple 20-milers between 153 and 156 at altitude. So I was extremely fit going into the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon. I ended up placing 5th place overall, ran 2:26:42, my second fastest marathon. I did have to jump in a porta-john around mile 17, so I lost a lot of time on that, but regardless what it is, all the what ifs, what if I didn't have to stop, or what if I didn't have to jump in that porta-john, what would I ran? All that counts at the end of the day is what did you start and what did you finish? What time did you finish in? There's no excuses. It's like, well, I was on pace for 15 miles of the race. It doesn't matter what pace you were on. What did you finish in? Okay, so 50-kilometer running involves a lot more. It takes an athlete that is very disciplined, that's very focused, that really is extremely hungry for success in middle to long distance running, especially long distance running. You're not going to do, very rarely will you see anybody, middle distance runners, doing 50K long runs or 50-kilometer races. You'll rarely see that. So, but I do, like I said, I do have the experience with this, so I can talk a little bit about it. I really think that it is important, like I said, to every once in a while stretch your limits and get yourself out of your comfort zone and do runs of 27 miles up to 30 miles. Don't do this often. I would probably do this maybe once or twice in a 16-week block of training. I don't think, I'm definitely not saying that you need to run 50K to prepare for a marathon. Really, the happy medium in training for a marathon is anywhere from 18 to 22 miles in length for your long run. It's the pace of that long run that's key. It's not the volume you're doing as much as it is the quality of the volume you're doing. What percentage of your weekly volume are you training at, close, or near your marathon race pace? That is the key. How slow are you going on your recovery days? Are you taking it easy? Are you running 6-minute mile pace or 6:30 mile pace on an easy day? Even when I was the fittest I ever been in my life, when I could run 5:19 mile pace for 26.2 miles, rarely would I ever run 6:30 mile pace on my easy days. It's still quality pace. That's quality effort for running on an easy day. Like I said, I've trained with 2:10, 2:11 marathoners, Olympians that would jog on their recovery days, 8 to 9 minute mile pace. Very easy running. We need to get away from this aspect of what pace do I need to be running on my easy days. You need to take off the watch and you need to relax. And if you know the distance of your course, that's all that matters. Okay, say, I got to go 9 miles today, and then maybe in the PM I got to do another 4 or 5 miles. If you know the routes and you know the distance of your long run, or you know the distance of your runs, your easy days should be exactly that. Easy, relaxed, and allow time for you to recover from these types of workouts. I guarantee you, usually after any type of long run where I did over the marathon distance, I would give myself about 3 days of jogging recovery after that. Normally, anytime after 18 to 22 miles in length for the long run, I'd give myself about 2 days. But if any further tips I want to share with you in regards to training for in terms of 50-kilometer running preparation is to definitely pay attention to your hydration. Make sure you get some foods in you immediately after that long run, maybe a Cliff Bar, some fruits, a couple bananas, an apple. Bring all that with you prior to the start of your long run. Make sure you have that, and you are going to lose your appetite after a run of that length. You will be thirsty, but most oftentimes, not always, but most oftentimes, you'll lose your appetite for a couple hours after that long run. Do not neglect eating something, forcing yourself to eat something after a long run of 50 kilometers. 50-kilometer running really eats up your glycogen storage. You have a lot of physiological trauma to your muscles, so it's really important to get that protein in you. Either get a protein drink in you. The key tip on this: go to nutritiongeeks.com. Herbalife has a great deal of products that are filled with protein. We have protein shakes, protein bars. So make sure you take care of yourself, make sure you're paying attention to your nutrition. 50-kilometer running is no joke. So yes, it is important to, like I said, to experiment with doing longer than marathon training runs. Get used to that, see how your body feels, see how you can adapt, but make sure you pay attention to giving yourself enough time to recover, especially after doing a 50-kilometer running workout. You need at minimum 48 hours of recovery after that, especially not only that length, but you're going to have spend some time changing up the paces of your pace during that long run. Don't just make it slow, but also training for your marathon. Don't run every single weekend slow. You want to alternate one harder long run, follow the next week by a very relaxed long run, follow the next week by a medium paced run where you're running maybe about 30 seconds slower than your race pace, 20 to 30 seconds slower. Spend some time varying up the paces of your long run. That way you get really efficient at dealing with running at faster paces. Lactic acid buildup in your blood while you're running. Get used to that, because the faster you train at, you spend that one VO2 max workout per week where you're training at closer to your maximum heart rate. Spend a little time training at that effort where you're running way faster. You're running close to your 3K to 5K race pace. Again, it's going to make race pace feel more efficient. You're going to be able to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. You're going to improve your lactate tolerance, and that's what you need to do in terms of running a very strong marathon. You need to be able to handle that lactic acid buildup, and the faster you train, you're going to recruit those fast twitch muscle fibers. And I'm talking, to do that, you need to be running at close to your VO2 max. You need to be spending time, a few seconds to a few minutes, going close to all out. And that's going to recruit those fast twitch muscle fibers. It's going to make you very efficient at clearing lactic acid, and then coupled with those really easy recovery runs where you get the rest that you desperately need, your body needs. So hope this 50-kilometer running video has been helpful for you. If you're brand new to the channel, if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, click on the bell icon, give me a like. I appreciate it. All the support here is definitely helps this channel grow. And if you have any comments, any specific topic you want me to cover in my next video, feel free to leave me a comment below this video. And as well as I'll leave some resources below, like I always do on all the videos that I make. RunDreamAchieve.com, NutritionGeeks.com have great resources there for you, for your nutrition, for mindset, motivation. There's free content. There's running programs and running courses that I've created on RunDreamAchieve.com. If you want to start your own Herbalife business, you can go to Nutrition Geeks. If you want to just be a customer and you want to use products, nutritional products that will help you prepare for your marathon, or regardless 5K up to the marathon distance, go to Nutrition Geeks. There's resources there as well for you. So I wish you guys all the best. Have a great week of training, and I'll talk to you next time.